Okay, put your sleeves on. It's time to check in with Hubert Davis. Brought to you by CR Legal Team.
Look, you got yourself choked up with that hilarious joke.
Brought to you by CR Legal Team, CR Commitment, CR Results, CR Legal Team, proud partner of Carolina Athletics. Okay, Coach, I've been thinking about this ever since Saturday, and I made a mental note. I'm going to ask Coach Davis about that when we get to check in with him.
Okay.
Because you mentioned a defensive adjustment that your team made against Nigel Pack down in Coral Gables.
Yeah.
How does an idea like that go from idea to execution to, okay, it's time to do this?
Well, I mean, for me, it's something that, in our preparation is something that has already been talked about and discussed and, thought about. You going into a game, you have to think about what your specific game plan is, but also some adjustments, in terms of being able to change. And so that was something that we had all talked about as a staff, that if needed, we can go to, into something that was practiced. And so when Nigel Pack has how many points in the first half, that qualifies for let's get the ball out of his hands. And so we just wanted to try something different in terms of getting the ball out of his hands, making other guys make plays, and also just change up the rhythm for him. I just felt like in the first half he was in a great rhythm, getting the shots that he wanted, when he wanted, where he wanted, how he wanted it. And that change for us specifically in the second half really got Pack out of rhythm and made other guys make plays that normally don't make plays, and it allowed us defensively to hold them to 39% from the field for the entire game.
Does having, and certainly I understand that you have some young guys who are playing, but does having a more veteran group help with something like that? If you are making some kind of adjustment on the fly, that they're maybe a little more capable of handling that than a younger group might be?
No, I agree, but, you're here at Carolina, whether you're an 18-year-old freshman or a 20-something-year-old transfer, your job and your requirements to go out there and do the things that we've asked you to do. And so that's why it's so big in terms of the preparation and the practice, so that when you go out there in the game, you understand where you have to be and what you have to do. And so, again, I was really proud of the adjustment that we were able to make on the fly, but it was something that was practiced and something that was talked about, and they executed it really well.
This is not the top line story about RJ Davis, and I understand that, but how has he improved especially as an on the ball one-on-one defender in his time?
Oh, it's
Carolina?
huge. I mean, it's just a game changer. We've had a number of conversations, and I told him, for his size, from a defensive standpoint, you have to be a factor, not only here but at the next level in the NBA. You just. For me, I'm 6'4", in between 6'4", 6'5". I played shooting guard. I was 2 inches smaller than average shooting guard. I mean, it's just they're good up there, and they're taller and athletic. And so for RJ's size, from a defensive standpoint, you have to be a factor. You have to be able to guard your position. That's a big thing. You have to be able to guard your position. And not only has RJ been able to guard his position, he's been elite. As I said before, what we ask him to do, to be, we need him offensively, and then we put him on the top wing player on the defensive end, and for him to take that challenge and be able to respond the way he has all season. I mean, I haven't seen everybody play in the country. I just can't imagine another guard or a player playing any better than him on both ends of the floor. You're right. His defense has been really good.
How are you trying? Because you're kind of in the grind of it, and college basketball is a long season, and so the end's starting to get there. The postseason you can start to kind of see it, but you're not there yet. How are you trying to keep the guys engaged, fresh as best as you can as you go through this really kind of difficult grind of the year?
Yeah, one of the things that, in fact, last week I told them, you have to find joy in how hard it is to be successful individually and as a team. And I said, think about the most significant things that you've had in your life. And I said, have they been hard or easy? I said, this is hard work. I was like, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Mm-hmm. Everybody would be at Carolina. Everybody would be able to play on this stage. I said, this is really hard. And I said, let's find the joy in how hard it is to be at this level and to compete and to perform. And so it is. You just got to take it one step at a time, one day at a time, one game at a time, focus on what is real, and that's the process, and that's our preparation and our practice. And, I learned that from Coach Smith and Coach Guthridge. You just do that every day. The play will take care of itself.
We get to hear from you a lot, including when we're checking in, of course. And I think we're accustomed to many head coaches when a player has a good game, they say, "Oh, I'm happy for him." When one of your players has a good game, most frequently you say, "I'm proud of him." What is it specifically about that emotion that occurs to you when one of your players does something well that makes it different maybe from what we hear from other folks?
Well, I see all the hard work that goes in behind the scenes. I know what they've done in practice. I know what they do before and after practice. I know when they do extra shooting at 7 o'clock in the morning and extra shooting at midnight when they come back into the Smith Center. I know the things that they've gone through throughout their life, the things that they're dealing with in their life. I know the full story. And so when I say that I'm proud of them, I'm proud of their effort. I'm proud of their commitment to being the best that they can be. And as a coach, there's no greater joy of being able to notice and be around that and see it come out in a game. And that's just a really cool part about being a coach.
Coach, last thing, Carolina back on the road as we are recording this. It will be tomorrow, but as people see it or hear it, it will be tonight. That is against Syracuse. So what are a couple of the keys in your mind as Carolina's back on the floor and on the road against the Orange?
Yep. I mean, it's just we're going to take care of the basketball. I mean, just limit turnovers and, Syracuse, number one, ACC, steals, forced turnovers. We just have to make the easy play. Coach Lebo says this all the time, just hit singles, and it's right. It's a hit singles game. It's always a hit singles game. That's what I tell them, but it is. We just got to make the easy play and limit turnovers. Got to rebound the basketball. That's going to be huge for us. That allowed us to have success against Syracuse in the first game. And if we do that, that'll allow us to get out in transition. I think we can get the shots that we want, and we'll make them. And so taking care of the basketball, rebounding, those are the two keys for us to have a chance to beat Syracuse on their home floor.
This is definitely a full jacket trip, Syracuse.
It's always a full jacket trip. I don't know when there's a no sleeve, but core jacket weather.
We got the sleeves. May even have a hood for this one. We'll find out.
I'll check in.
Yeah, that's right. You can check in with our outerwear.
Just to head off the inevitable questions, Coach Davis says Usher was not wearing a vest at halftime of the Super Bowl.
That's what we've heard.
He was not.
Okay.
He was not.
That's Coach
Usher
Davis.
is Usher.
Yeah, that's Coach Davis's official stance on that. And we are officially, it's probably time to go. All right, we're done checking in with Coach Davis, brought to you by our friends at CR Legal Team.